We did, we were on, let's see, Dhal.
So we finished the third one. So there
Yeah.
was no class yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
did.
think we finished third Dhal.
Yeah. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Uvachayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. Jai Chandra Sabiko. We are doing Chah Dhala, Dhal 4, which is also chapter 4. So far, what are the first 3 dhals who will revise?
The first Dhal is about the sufferings in the transmigration.
Yes.
And second is reason for suffering, reasons for suffering.
Right.
Third one is how to come out of the suffering or path to liberation.
Right. The solutions basically.
Solution.
What
Yeah.
you need to do, how would you get out of this vicious cycle of migration in the gatis? And the main thing that really needs to be focused is that it's not about pushing yourself, do this, don't do this, don't, but it's more about understanding the nature of things. Just like when we understand the features of a phone or anything for that matter, let's say a balloon burst, right? What happens to a baby?
Baby gets scared.
And cries a lot.
Yeah.
If he or she was playing with it and it burst, they will like scream and cry. But what happens to adults? We're like, it's okay. I mean, if not now, 5 minutes later, it was going to burst. That's the nature of balloon. So that knowledge that that is the Vastu Swarup of balloon helps you relax, not cry. The baby doesn't have that knowledge. And that is what we are doing with the rest of the knowledge of the universe. And which is supposed to naturally put us to ease in life. Put us to ease means we don't have more kashai, we don't have Krodman Maya Lop. And when you understand the reality, when you understand the Vastu Swarup, there is no need to be angry, no need to have ego. Even if you got something a little more than others, we understand, okay, some little bit punya karma from past, what's the big deal, right? You don't need to do mayachari, you don't need to deceit, you don't need to deceive people to show off. You don't need to be greedy because you can get what is destined for you. So why then unnecessary wish for a lot of things and then commit sins and have unauspicious karmas? So you understand how this whole, thing is supposed to work. Now, there is still, even though we may think that, oh yes, we understood everything, then why we are still having this attachment, still want things. So where does that come from?
Not believing what we learned.
That plus, suppose we even believe some of the things. Right now, we really know that, yeah, it's useless, futile to do all these things. Still, why?
Maybe our focus in the outer world. Still, that's the problem.
Yes, that is the problem, but it is also because of the moha that has been coming from Anadi.
Yeah. And Jnana Varnya Karma, Darshana Varnya
Trying
Karma, all
to get
these.
rid of. So it's like, what do you call? That's why you need to be hammered constantly. So it's so hard to break a rock, right? So our moha from infinite past is so strong that you need this knowledge hammered all the time to break that cycle of moha. So that is the need why, like, even people may say, well, I've read this book once and I know everything kind of. Yes, I know the tattvas and I know the, Bara Bhavna, I know everything. Well, you know, but it needs to be hammered to break that moha in you. Because you may think you know everything, but still we do wrong things, right?
Yeah.
So that is the reason to stay with it all the time till you get Samyak Darshan. And even after Samyak Darshan, what does Muniraj do? They contemplate on the same knowledge, Bara Bhavna, Tattvas, what do you call, Teen Lok. That is what they do also until they reach Keval Gyan. Okay, so now we are on the fourth Dhal. So we, in the third Dhal, understood Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, and Samyak Charitra is the solution to our problems. So we are trying to understand in detail what is Samyak Darshan, what is Samyak Gyan, and then we'll understand what is Samyak Charitra. Okay, so we are on the Samyak Gyan chapter or Dhal. Okay, so let's start with the page, I guess 77 in the Hindi book, and if somebody wants to share the English book and start reading from Dhal 4. Arun ji, आपका खुला है? Yeah, Bahubali ji, you want to share
Yeah,
it?
I can share. Okay. Yes. Okay, start with the English one, yes?
Yeah, that's okay. We'll start with English
Okay.
one. We'll also read the Hindi quickly.
Okay, fourth Dhal.
We are on stanza 4.
The nature of right knowledge and partial right conduct, stanza 1. Characteristics of right faith. Samyak Shraddha Dhara Puni Sevaho Samyak Gyan Swapara Artha Bahu Dharmajut Jai Pragatavan Ban. Samyak Shraddha Dhari. On attaining right faith, Puni, after that, Sevahu, attempt to acquire Samyak Gyan, right knowledge, Swapara, self and others, Artha Bahu, many ways, Dharmajut, with all characteristics, Jav, like, Pragatavan, illuminating, Bhan, sun. A true faith leads to right knowledge. As the sun illuminates self and others, the right knowledge knows the self and the alien substances with their attributes.
Okay, so let's read the Hindi also, and then we'll understand them.
So read the Hindi one next stanza. I did not hear.
Yeah, let's read the Hindi one.
Okay. Samyak Gyan evam Esa Charitra.
We'll just do the Bhavarth of Hindi, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Teen Kal.
जिस प्रकार सूर्य समस्त पदार्थों को तथा स्वयं अपने को
Wait. Yeah, wait, one second. I'm off somehow by one, I think. I'm looking at Chauthi Dhal ka stanza 4. In the Hindi book, it is Jo Gyan Teen Kal or Teen Lokvarti. What happened here?
the book starts with
Bhavani
Chand
started
4.
with number 1. He started with Chand 1.
First three
I-
in the class. So did you start with 1 or 4?
I started with 1.
Oh, that's the issue. Okay, we were on 4th.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
fourth.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So let me
Sorry. Yeah, I was like, something doesn't sound right.
sorry, because I did miss yesterday class. Oh.
No, this was last week we did it. Yeah, remember we finished all this. Last
So
class.
the fourth Dhal, stanza
yeah.
4, yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay. Okay, nature of the stanza 4, nature of the perfect perception and the importance of the right knowledge. सकल द्रव्य के गुण अनंत पर्याय अनंता जाने एक ही काल प्रगट केवल भगवंत ज्ञान समान न आन जगत में सुख कौ कारण यह परमामृत जन्म जरा मृत्यु रोग निवारण सकल द्रव्य के of all substances guna ananta infinite attributes paryaya ananta infinite modes jani ekai kala knows at a time pragata directly kevala bhagavanta omniscient lord jnana right knowledge samanana no comparison ana jagat mein in the universe shukakau of spiritual bliss karana cause this Paramamrita, supreme nectar, Janma Jara Mrit, birth, old age, and death, Roga Nivarana, to cure the disease of the knowledge which can directly know the past, present, and future of all substances of the universe with their infinite attributes and their modes in one smallest unit of time is known as omniscient knowledge and perception. In this transmigratory life, right knowledge is unique and blissful. It is like supreme nectar in removing the misery of life, aging, and death. Okay, I'll read the Hindi one now.
Yeah, you can also read this one's pure perfect.
Okay. Yeah. One's pure perfect soul itself is the God. He is the omniscient Lord, since time infinite. He is full of omniscient knowledge. This soul itself is full of nectar of bliss. One experiences the God's true nature in his modification when he gets engrossed in the true nature of the self. This state is known as the right faith, Samyak Darshan. Paramagamsara, stanza 330.
So see, the reason they give you the references of all these other shastras, where they're getting these quotes from, is that if you ever, have the time and want to know more, then you can go to some of these shastras and kind of read. And the good thing is that nowadays, like even if let's say it's a huge, big book, right? And now with AI, you have an option to go through, get summary of it and at least get the SAR. So it's a great way to, like, it's a good exercise. You have 10 minutes. Okay, get one of these shastras, get one chapter, get a summary through AI, you can even ask for key points. And that's a great mental exercise, plus a reminder to you constantly of the Vastu Swarup. So who is this great person who has this direct knowledge of past, present, and future of all substances of the, I want you to really get this wow factor of what my capabilities are. At this moment, it's unimaginable to, to see the smallest unit of time, to see all the modes, to see each fraction of a second modes of our own and everybody else, and all the Chadravya modes. Imagine the vastness of the knowledge. Then past, present, and future with the timeline as it happened. How vast, unimaginable knowledge that is. let's say if we ever doubt, can that ever happen? If it didn't, we would not even have all this knowledge because it came from Kevali and certain percentage has been verified. So it makes a lot of reason for us to strongly believe that yes, this actually happens to any soul that wants to achieve that state. And then in this transmigratory, right knowledge is the unique and blissful, right? So that is why in the Manushya Paryaya, Samyak Darshan attaining is a big goal usually of all Jains. That whatever I do, at least let me get this experience of soul once. So this transmigrateness is limited to a certain time. Then my moksha is already decided, confirmed, whatever, right? Okay, let's go to the Hindi. Yes.
ओके, भावार्थ। जो ज्ञान तीन काल और तीन लोकवर्ती सर्व पदार्थों अर्थात अनंत धर्मात्मक सर्व द्रव्य गुण पर्यायों को प्रत्येक समय में यथास्थित परिपूर्ण रूप से स्पष्ट और एक साथ जानते हैं, उस ज्ञान को केवल ज्ञान कहते हैं। वह सकल प्रत्यक्ष है। केवली भगवान सभी द्रव्य गुण और पर्यायों को जानते हैं।
Like Jain definition, Sakal Pratyaksh, right?
Yeah.
Which means, so for us, we don't have Sakal Pratyaksh because we don't know through our soul. We know with the dependence of our five Indriya. But there is a name for that also. Sampraik Pratyaksha is what we have. So which is basically like you saw the Eiffel Tower on YouTube versus you were physically there to see it. So there is a difference, right? So in our case, it's called Sampraik Pratyaksha. Okay? So I'm just kind of some of these terminologies that probably come again, so you should know what is that. Okay, go ahead.
केवली भगवान सभी द्रव्य गुण और पर्यायों को जानते हैं, किंतु उनके अपेक्षित धर्मों को नहीं जान सकते। ऐसा मानना असत्य है। वे मात्र अपने आत्म को ही जानते हैं, किंतु सर्व को नहीं जानते। ऐसा मानना भी न्याय विरुद्ध है। वास्तविकता यह है कि केवली भगवान सर्वज्ञ होने से अनेकांत स्वरूप प्रत्येक वस्तु को प्रत्यक्ष जानते हैं। इस संसार में, so you'd like to say anything, Prabhaji, on this paragraph or continue?
Saying this, केवली भगवान सभी द्रव्य गुण पर जानते हैं, किंतु उनके अपेक्षित धर्मों को नहीं जान सकते। ऐसा मानना असत्य है। तो क्या मतलब हुआ कि भगवान कैन ओनली नो द द्रव्य गुण और पर्याय, but not the what do you call different
Another religion?
the apekshit dharma means, okay, dharma is I'll tell you how do you explain this. So for example, nitya anitya, so you are permanent with respect to your soul, you're temporary with respect to your body. So and the soul has these qualities. So dharma is nitya anitya, they are opposite of each other. But each dravya has these what do you call them? Couplets, whatever. So Hinduism is unique in this way that it talks of the complete truth. See, even in Hinduism, there is like Sankhya, Dharma, and some other. So one side will only talk about the temporariness of the world. The other will only talk about the permanence, right? Here, talk about both. And with respect to what? So we give the full explanation. So they're saying that if you think that God can only know the teen kal, teen lok, only those things, that's not enough. God also knows the Ananta Dharmatmak, means from which apeksha, how it is. Am I making it clear to you guys? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not, so what they're saying is if you believe that, okay, only he knows that much, even that is not true. So you should understand that the pure soul can not only know all the dravyas with its all three kals, all the paryayas, everything, but also it knows the apeksha. That's how Bhagwan told us that your soul is permanent, but your body is temporary. So you as a whole is permanent as well as temporary.
Mm.
About the apeksha. What did we say apeksha in English last class? I think we discussed that. I forget. Relative to, right?
Relativity.
Relativity or contextual, yeah.
So, so प्रत्येक समय परिपूर्ण और से स्पष्ट और एक साथ जानता है, उस ज्ञान को केवल ज्ञान कहते हैं, और वो सकल प्रत्यक्ष. Okay. Now the other myth they say is, हाँ, कि they only know their own soul and not know everything. That is also not complete truth. Yes, it is true that they are only focusing on their own soul, but in the soul, everything is reflected.
Reflect.
So if you just say, oh no, Bhagwan only knows their own soul, that is also not completely correct. They know everything, they know their own soul, but through that, they also know the whole universe. Okay?
Yeah.
So, because they have this sarvagyata, which means the complete appearance of all the gunas of guna of the soul, that they are anekant swarup pratyek vastu ko pratyaksh jante hain. They know all the different viewpoints of each of the dravya or tattva or everything. Which imagine like none of these computers could hold the data.
Yeah.
Big data and big whatever AI has so much data so it can analyze. I mean, this is nothing, not even a drop in the bucket compared to the total knowledge of the universe, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, now with progression of the science and technology, at least we can have little better concept of what this human knowledge must be, you know. In the past, people lived in a village and little bit knowledge. They had like, you just like talked about it, but had no actually perception of this knowledge. But now we can feel a little better, when we talk about AI and how many computers and how many giga, tera, whatever bytes of info and like, so, which now is not even a drop in the bucket compared to the Kevali knowledge.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then इस संसार में सम्यक ज्ञान के समान सुखदायक अन्य कोई वस्तु नहीं. Only when you have this true knowledge that you can accomplish the pure happiness. और ये सम्यक ज्ञान, the power of knowledge is the solution to get rid of birth, death, old age.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
Nice. Let's go to the fifth one.
Okay. Okay, stanza 5. The difference between the karma removal process in the enlightened and the ignorant person. Koti janma tapai, jnana bina karma jarai je, jnani ke chin mein trigupti te sahaj tarai the, munirutadhari ananta bar graivika upajaye, vai nija Atma Gyan Abhina Sukhaleshana Paye. Koti Janma, millions of births, Tapatapai, to do the penance, Gyan Abhina, without right knowledge, Karma Jare, shedding of karmas, J, those, Gyani Ke, person with right knowledge, Chinme, in a moment, Trigupti Tain, with the three restraints, Sahaja easily, Tarete, get rid of Munirutadari, with the great woes of the ascetic. Anantabar, infinite times, Graivek, nine-neck dwelling, celestial, heavenly lives. Upajaye, took birth, Painija, Atma Jnana Bina, without the knowledge of own self, Sukha, spiritual bliss, Leshana Paye, did not get at all. The ignorant person has no right knowledge, and as a result, the process of austerity performed by him is known as Balatapa, austerity with wrong knowledge. He may perform austerity for millions of life and birth cycles and can lose some of his karma, while the enlightened person with right knowledge removes lots of karma in a moment through the restraints of the mind, speech, and body. The soul has taken birth in the nine-neck dwelling celestial Navagraivik realm infinite times as a result of accepting the five great vows in the form of non-enlightened ascetic with physical sign, Draivalinga, without achieving spiritual bliss.
So what does that mean? In today's time, or even some past times, it seems like it's very common that a lot of dikshas are not real dikshas. The diksha is after Samyak Darshan. In today's time, I would say 99.9% is all Dravyaling. Maybe there is some true sadhus in the jungles somewhere. I mean, they do exist. They say that even till the end of fifth era, there will be at least one true sadhu, one true sadhvi, one true shavak, and one true shavika will be there till the end. So obviously there are there. We cannot easily reach them. But even with this Dravyalingi sadhupana, you still do go to the heaven because you have followed the restraint and you followed a lot of the charitra. Okay. So what they're saying is that all this, when you take Diksha, you follow all this, but all you get is heaven and then still not be able to end the circle of life and death until you get some darshan. So you could reach almost the highest heaven and still not reach moksha. So they're saying that, hey, Jeev, in your infinite lifetimes, you have taken Diksha, you have become sadhu so many times, but you were not the true sadhu and did the effort of meditation and rising in your ladder of Gunasthan to reach moksha. So that is why it's very important to focus on Samyak Darshan. Let's read the Hindi quickly.
नित्यादृष्टि जीव आत्मज्ञान सम्यक ज्ञान के बिना करोड़ों जन्मों भवों तक बाल तप रूप उद्यम करके जितने कर्मों का नाश करता है उतने कर्मों का नाश सम्यक ज्ञानी जीव स्वोन्मुख ज्ञातापन रूप स्वरूप गुप्ति से क्षणमात्र में सहज ही कर डालता है। इसी प्रकार का भाव व्यक्त करते हुए आचार्य कुंद देव श्री प्रवचन सार परमागम की गाथा 237 238 में कहते हैं, जम अन्नाणी कम कवेदी भवसय सहस्व कोडिहि तम पाणी तिहिम
गुत्तो
कवेदी उत्सा समेतेन, अर्थात जो कर्म अज्ञानी लक्ष्य कोटि भावों में कपाता है नष्ट करता है, ज्ञानी जीव वह कर्म तीन प्रकार मन वचन काया से गुप्त होने से उच्च वास मात्र में कपा देता है। यह जीव द्रव्यलिंग मुनिपन धारण करके एवं महाव्रतों मतों का निरतिचार पालन करके नवे ग्रैवेक तक के विमान में अनंत बार उत्पन्न हुआ, परंतु आत्मज्ञान अर्थात सम्यक ज्ञान अथवा स्वानुभव के बिना वह लेश मात्र भी सुख प्राप्त नहीं कर सका।
So let's understand this. This is a very important point that in the Bal Tap, of course, you do get some nirjara, right? Because you're doing penance, so the karmas are exiting your soul. But that is nothing compared to what did they say? In one breath in, the meditation person with Samyak Darshan can get rid of
श्वास मात्र, okay.
now. So what is more important? Let's use some logic. Let's say we had to decide between trying to do Swadhyay, get Samyak Darshan, or do a Varshitap, or do a mask. What would make more sense?
Swadhyay makes much more sense.
What, obviously, where should your effort be? Because if you, let's say, do a mask Haman or your Varshitap, all your energy is in there. And you rather put your efforts towards getting the Samyak Darshan, because if you do that, then even now, the amount of karmas that are being shed while you are in Swadhyay is even a lot more than some of those stuff where you stay hungry. But there, it all depends. You could stay hungry and do Swadhyay and be in this mode mentally. Of course, that will be much helpful. But majority of the people, when they're doing tap, they have this thing about, okay, the body is weak, so now we don't need to do all the other things. They won't do household chores, and the majority don't even do any swadhyaya during those kind of tap.
Yeah, because they consider tap as something to be endured, right? Like I find even when I do upas or do those kind of things, I find it harder to sit in quiet because my mind starts going even more. It's almost like the body is fighting it. So it's hard to sit and do swadhyaya.
Even though in Muniraj case, it's the opposite. They are when they're in contemplation or meditation, they don't even have the thought of food. So then naturally they get penance, right? They don't eat for days, weeks, whatever the case may be. But that is not the situation with us. Our bodies are different. So if our body needs food and if it helps to eat and do swadhyay, choose that, then to try to do tap and not do swadhyay. If you can do both, great. But if doing tap is taking your mental concentration away, then you rather eat and do the swadhyay. So that's how, see, as we read, we will realize what are the right choices for us. And they can be different for different people. Somebody who has the ability to focus in spite of, I do fast and I'm still able to focus in teaching or doing swadhyaya, whatever I need to do. In which case it's fine. Then I do upvas whenever I'm able to. Like when I'm in my own circumstance, then I do the Ashtami Chaudas upvas. But if I'm traveling, there's too many disturbances. Then I don't become rigid that no, I have to do, because then if I do upvas and I'm in a environment where it's just, it's useless to do the upvas because I won't be able to do any proper swadhyaya or anything, then why bother? That doesn't mean that there is karmas are not being shedded, but they're so minute that I rather focus on swadhyaya and get rid of a lot more karmas than through the penance.
So the point is almost like save your energy. Don't do it in that time.
Yes.
Save your energy for the time when it's going to be more fruitful.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And some people, so for example, if you're in a situation where you could do upvas and go stay in the temple or in India, like in Upashraya, then there is more chance because then there's no household distractions. So even though the energy may be less, but the environment will be there. So if you did upvas, you went and sat in the Upashraya with the sadhus, with the other people who are doing paushad, then you may be able to still do swadhyaya and all. So, okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Arun ji, आप पढ़ेंगे?
Sure, most definitely. कोटि जन्म तप तपे ज्ञान बिन कर्म झरे जे
I think we just did
ज्ञानी
that, right? Let's go
जी
to the next one, Bahubali ji.
Oh, sorry. Okay. The fault.
या ताते जिनवर कथित तत्व अभ्यास करीजे संशय विभ्रम मोह त्यागी आपो लखी लीजे यह मानुष पर्याय सुकुल सुनीवो जिन वाणी यह विधि गए न मिले सुमपि सुमपि जो उदिति
Mari.
समान सुमणि सुमणि आई थिंक राइट
Yeah.
ताते therefore जिनवर कहित तत्व principles as preached by omniscient Lord अभ्यास करीजे practice them संशय indecision vibram erroneous cognition moha indifference त्यागी to abandon आपो लखी लीजिए realize the nature of life यह मानुष पर्याय this human form of life sukul noble family sunivo jinwani listen to the preaching of omniscient Lord यह विधि this opportunity गए ना मिलई shall not be regained if lost sumani jewel jau utai samini like the one round in the ocean. Discriminative science bhed vigyan is important for one to understand the difference between soul and alien substances. This knowledge comes from deep study of the scriptures as preached by the omniscient lords. This knowledge should be free from indecision, sanchay, erroneous cognition, viparyaya, and inconclusiveness, anadhyavasya.
Highlight that paragraph because these Sanshaya Vibram, this will also keep coming, and it's easy to forget these terminologies, what they mean. So anytime you want to refer, you can either type it in your personal notes somewhere, so you can look back whenever you need to.
So Auntie, before we go on, so those things, for example, we did get introduced to, I think, even Vitarag Vidyan. So now we're going to the next level, which is Chadal, right? And now from Chadal, eventually we'll go to the actual scripture where that's written.
Exactly. Yes, yes. And all of this material is also coming from scriptures.
Right, right. I'm just saying, but we get introduced in stages, right? So
Exactly.
yeah.
Because you cannot grasp so much detail at once. So they give you
So
a little.
it's like a tertiary source, then secondary source, then we go to the primary source, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing, Amit ji, would you please make a note? I think the moha they have given wrong meaning here.
Yeah.
That
Which
in,
at the top?
Yeah, they call it indifference.
yeah, that is wrong. It should be attachment or something else for the meaning of.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
speak, Bahubali ji?
Sorry, Hindi?
Scroll back. No, right here.
Scroll up, Bahubali.
Up or whatever. Right. So would you?
Oh,
Yes,
indifference.
Yeah,
moha is indifference.
I mean, there are other mistakes too, but I don't know if you want to get into them.
inform
Like,
them.
for example, they say, yeah, vidhi. It's not this opportunity. Vidhi means like the technique or knowledge, right? It's not opportunity.
Well, no, Vidhi has multiple meanings. Vidhi means process, okay, this way. Vidhi
Yeah.
means destiny. Here, what did they give? Where is it?
Opportunity.
This opportunity. Yeah, it should be this way,
Opportunity.
or this method.
I mean, there are lots of mistakes, so I don't know if you make us.
If they have if print a different version, then those should be corrected. So if you guys notice such things, do bring it to our attention and we'll send it over to the yeah. So in case, see,
And-
right, the reason we are not printing these books is because there are errors. that we want to correct before we actually put these things into print.
And also the word sanshay, isn't that more correctly translated as doubt instead of indecision?
Doubt and indecision is somewhat similar. And
Mm,
what happens is there are meanings that depend on the context also sometimes. So they may not be the exact dictionary meanings at times, depending on what the author is trying to convey.
right, but the indecision is
think I-
covered under inconclusiveness.
No,
So
I
the
think
indecision,
it is in the context of the discriminative science, Veda Vigyanam. See, you are not able to discriminate. That's what indecision. Maybe in this context, it is.
no, but
Sanshay
they already have inconclusiveness. So that's more like indecision. That's the same thing. So that indecision should be doubt there.
Yeah, doubt is, yeah, let's point all these out to them. And I'll talk to
Mhm.
Kirit, and if he agrees, we'll change it. Amit, would you be able to do those 2-3 things that we just pointed out?
Yep.
The poha, that indecision to doubt. And what was the third one, Dinesh? You pointed out something?
The vidhi should be like process or method or something instead of opportunity.
With the opportunity seems correct, right? I mean,
Vidhi is normally process, correct?
No, when you say like a puja vidhi, right? It's not an opportunity. It's a process or a method.
Yeah.
What in Hindi, here is given anishtantata. Meaning, okay, and then vidhi, where is vidhi? Aisa suyog. No, according to the Hindi, that's what he has done. He's translated from the Hindi book. So in Hindi also, they are saying suyog, which means the correct opportunity. In which case we have to leave it.
So the actual Hindi, the modern Hindi, might be a mistaken translation from the old Hindi of Pandit Dhala, and then that is being translated. No, I get it. This is not hard. It's not easy to do. So I mean, it's not a criticism. Just
Understand is what Pandit Daulat Ramji meant with those words,
right.
not the current Hindi meanings, right?
Yeah, and he was using like an old dialect, right, from hundreds of years ago. So that's
Hindi. So yeah.
In Hindi, the Samshaya, they say like Paraspara Viruddha Viruddhata Purvak Do Roop Gyan.
Okay, let's read the Hindi and then I will come back. But
Yeah.
more definitely is wrong.
Yeah.
So
There is one more paragraph in English.
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Arunji, you can.
The human life is very precious. It comes about very rarely. As the jewel thrown in the ocean is almost impossible to get back. The same is true for human life. The Jain family an opportunity to listen the discourse of the omniscient Lord. Therefore, one should not waste a single precious moment of this human life. One must put all his personal efforts to obtain the right knowledge and make this life a success.
Hmm.
I'll
That is
go
a
to
very
Hindi.
important paragraph too, you know. So and like right now I'm in India and I would take part in helping different relatives, whether it is with their health, whether it is something else. And me being very compassionate personality, I get a little bit concerned that, oh, well, once I leave, who is going to do this? And very timely, my husband sent this about you cannot be the karta of anything. You really are not doing it. It is their destiny which is making you help them out. And then right away it puts you to peace that yes, I may be concerned that, after I leave, who's going to take care of these things. But things just happen the way they are destined to be. So we cannot take the load of, everybody. And time to time, the attachments make us feel like that. But we need to come out of, get reminded again and again. So, okay. So are we reading from the Hindi book now? Okay.
आत्मा और पर वस्तुओं के भेद ज्ञान के लिए जिनदेव द्वारा प्ररूपित सच्चे तत्वों का पठन पाठन मनन करना चाहिए और संशय विपर्य और अनध्यवसाय समज्ञान के इन 3 दोषों को दूर करके आत्मस्वरूप को जानना चाहिए। संशय इज डिफाइंड एज इस प्रकार है अथवा इस प्रकार। ऐसे परस्पर विरुद्धता पूर्वक 2 रूप ज्ञान को संशय कहते हैं।
So you're right, it is doubt, but it's doubt better explained. Is it this or is it that?
Mm.
So you understand?
Indifference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unable to differentiate. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
So,
that,
I mean, in the last class, I'm looking at my notes. So, Anadhyavasaya also we said indecisiveness. So, is it similar to indecisiveness then? Sanshaya?
so, okay. No, it is, okay. I'm doubting, is it this or is it this? Okay, now Anadhyavasai is, there is something, but I cannot decide what it is.
Mm.
You see the difference? It's a mild difference, but there is a difference.
So in Samshaya, we do decide, but conflicting decision.
In
So,
sense,
Anadhyavasaya is partial recognition or partial cognition.
no.
No.
In Sanshaya, you are aware of 2 things, you cannot decide between them. In
Yeah,
Anadhyavasai,
I got
you
it, yeah.
don't have concrete anything. But there is something, that's all. And you
So,
can,
you kind of partially understood it
right.
in practical. Okay. So,
Here,
it might all be in the same.
do I worship Ganesh or I don't worship Ganesh? I can't make up my mind. Anadhyavasai, I don't know what to do with this Ganesh. You understand the difference?
So, विपर्य वस्तु स्वरूप से विरुद्धता पूर्वक यह ऐसा ही है, इस प्रकार एक रूप ज्ञान विपर्य है। उसके 3 भेद हैं, कारण विपर्य, स्वरूप विपर्य, भेदाभेद विपर्य।
Viparya is completely opposite knowledge. So,
Yeah,
if,
really.
for example, I'm giving you
wrong knowledge, right?
that for sure Ganesh is going to what do they call Vigna?
Check out hurdles.
Right. So now I am making my strong conviction that if my kid is getting married, I have to do Ganesh Puja because he's going to take. So what is that going to be?
Erroneous.
Totally erroneous. Viparya. And Karan Viparya, Swarup Viparya, I don't even know the Swarup of the reality like that. I don't understand Veda Bhed Viparya means I don't understand the difference between real God and real God. Karan Viparya, I don't know the reasoning why Ganesh cannot do anything for me or anyone for that matter cannot do anything for me. So you understand Viparya now properly? Okay. So let's move on. Anything you want to read the next 2?
So
Sorry?
Hindi, yeah, there is more in Hindi, but yeah.
Yeah. Let's finish this.
Yeah.
यदि इस अवसर में तत्वाभ्यास करके आत्मानुभव नहीं किया तो जिस प्रकार समुद्र में डूबा हुआ अमूल्य रत्न पुनः हाथ नहीं आता, उसी प्रकार मनुष्य शरीर, उत्तम जैन श्रावक कुल और जिन वचनों का श्रवण आदि सुयोग बीत जाने के बाद पुनः प्राप्त नहीं होंगे। इसलिए इस अपूर्व अवसर को व्यर्थ गंवाकर आत्मस्वरूप की पहचान अर्थात सम्यक ज्ञान की प्राप्ति करके यह मनुष्य जन्म सफल करना चाहिए।
You can continue reading the whole thing. इस संदर्भ में आचार्य पंडित प्रवर टोडरमल जी.
Oh, you want me to read that? Okay.
All that is
इस संदर्भ में आचार्य कल पंडित प्रवर टोडरमल जी का यह मार्गदर्शन सदैव स्मरणीय है। इसलिए अवसर चूकना योग नहीं है। अब सर्व प्रकार से अवसर आया है, ऐसा अवसर प्राप्त करना कठिन है इसलिए श्री गुरु दयालु होकर मोक्ष मार्ग का उपदेश देते हैं, उसमें भव्य जीवों को प्रवृत्ति करना।
This is
मोक्ष मार्ग प्रकाशक 9वां अधिकार पृष्ठ 313।
right. So why, like I tell you, even in our own example of when we attend class, I mean, we are giving so little time compared to the whole 24 hours we get, or whatever our number of hours we get in a week, and we spend 3 to 4 hours a week in this class. Well, not even 3 to 4, sorry, just barely 2 hours, right? And even that, if we cannot prioritize, that come what may, my soul is more important than any other meeting, any other appointment, any other whatever it may be. So if you're feeling it is definitely worth adjusting anything else that's going in my life to be able to have this opportunity to make my human life a success, or at least go towards it. With these 2 hours, obviously not going to be easy to get some exertion. You will be needing more hours, but let's say whatever the situation is, we cannot put in more hours, then at least make the best effort to do this every week. So, okay, let's even the Kanji Swami, let's read
Sure.
that.
अपने हित को मत भूलना। भाई, संसार तो असार है। संसार की ओर ढलते हुए जितने अशुभ या शुभ परिणाम हैं, वे सब असार हैं। चैतन्य तत्व राग से पार है, उसका बोध करके उसके वेदन की जो शांति है वह सारभूत है। हे जीव, ज्ञान वैराग्य की भावना उग्र करके तू ऐसे शांत रस का पान कर। कदाचित कोई दुखद घटना हो गई हो तो उस समय भी तीव्र वैराग्य द्वारा सारभूत चैतन्य की ऐसी भावना भाना कि जिससे तेरे रत्न त्रय की वृद्धि हो।
So you see what,
प्रतिकूल
let's say you got some unfavorable circumstances. Even then, that time, you remind yourself that ये संसार असार है, संसार में तो ऐसे ही चलेगा, कभी सर्कमस्टेंस आएंगे, कभी अनफेवरेबल सर्कमस्टेंस आएंगे, और अगर गया तो मेरी ही हानि है. That is not to say that you ignore your duties. Of course, you will do your duties. Like where I am right now, you know how kids go through phases, right? So, one of our nephew's wife, one of the kid is not listening, or he's a college kid, and whatever normal issues that you have. And then how sometimes parents get so irritated and so whatever, right? So then I told her that yes, or whatever is happening, but under no circumstances you should bother your own soul. Because if you are getting angry, it's one thing to show anger as the acting mode, that hey, I'm being firm with this, which you have to discipline the kids. But if you are actually bothering yourself in that process of however your child is behaving or whatever has happened to your child, that is not good for the child as well as you. First, you to that anger or stress, it's going to be physically bad for you. You'll get blood pressure, diabetes with those stresses, and for your soul, have bind a lot of karmas through this artha dhyana and rodra dhyana. So really something seriously to think about. That when you have that level of unfavorable circumstances, that is when you need to again keep getting these vairagya thoughts. That this is the way the sansar is. This is not me, not mine, that feeling. So, okay, read the next paragraph.
प्रतिकूलता आने पर व्याकुल मत होना, परंतु आराधना में उत्साह प्रकट करके वैराग्य भावना में दृढ़ रहना। क्रोध की उत्पत्ति मत होने देना, अपूर्व शांत रस में मग्न रहना और दीक्षा आदि परम वैराग्य के प्रसंगों का स्मरण करके अपनी आत्मा को परम उल्लास पूर्वक रत्नत्रय की आराधना में लगाना। सारभूत चैतन्य भावों को जानकर असार रूप पर भावों को छोड़ना। अरे यह तो आराधना और समाधि मरण का अपूर्व अवसर है, वहां अपने हित को मत भूलना।
तो अपना हित किस में है कि जो भी आपके circumstances है, which is what no कर्म, उसमें अटकने की जगह वैराग्य भावना लाना कि ये सब कुछ भी मैं नहीं हूं, मेरा नहीं है. Because if you constantly have that, then at the time of death, there will not be. Otherwise, what happens when you're so attached to your children, to the properties, to the whatever else that you have, primarily the spouse also, that when it is time for people to die, they are in extreme misery. Why? Look at how much pain people are having just with the stock market dropping 5%, and I don't even keep up, but whatever, right? Now, there, everything you have is suddenly getting, you have to leave everything at once. So imagine the level of pain and misery. So if you don't want to go through that kind of misery during death, then it's better to practice this Vairagya Bhavana every single day. Right? As when we are younger, we are expanding, buying more things, having kids, then that. But if you have this Vairagya Bhavana at the back of the mind, it will not be difficult if anything is taken away from you. And whatever they say in Hindi, Sanyog ka vinod nishchit hai. Whatever circumstances you get, it will be taken away from you. Either it will be taken away from you or you will have to leave and go. That is the reality of life. Whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. We'll move on to the next one.
Stanza 7. धन समाज गजबाज राज तो काज न आवे.
Arunji, let me do the next one.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Glory of right knowledge, reason for right knowledge. धन समाज गजबाज राज को काज न आवे, ज्ञान आपको रूप भयो हिल अचल रहावे. तासु ज्ञान को कारण स्व पर विवेक पखानो, कोटि उपाय बनाए भव्य ताको उर आनो. धन, wealth, samaj, family, gaj, elephant, baj, horse, raj, kingdom. To kaj na avai, not useful for the emancipation of soul. Gyan, right knowledge, आपको रूप भयो, acquired by soul, thir, thereafter, achal रहवई, it remains permanently. Tasu Gyan ko Karan, the cause of this knowledge. Swa par Vivek, discriminative signs of self and others. Bakhaun, preached. Koti Upay Banai, to make millions of efforts. Bhavya, soul with the capacity for liberation. Tako Ur Ano, keep close to your heart. Wealth, family, servants, elephants, horses, and even the kingdom are of no use to the soul. Right knowledge is the true nature of the soul, and once obtained, stays with the soul forever. The reason for right knowledge is the discriminative science between the self and the alien substances. Therefore, the soul with the capacity for liberation, Bhavya Jeev, must put all his efforts into obtaining right knowledge with discriminative science.
So you see what they're saying is that, okay, so now again, here they translated Samaj to Parivar. Normally, Samaj, we think of the social circle, right? The reason I think they're translating it like this is because you're not as attached to the social circle as you are just to the family. So that's why these translations are appropriate based on the context. So, basically, what they're saying is that all these things are of no use to the soul. Why? When you're leaving, who is going to come with you? Right? Just one second. Okay. So, right knowledge is the true nature of the soul, and once obtained, stays with the soul forever. Right? So that is why that is something to accomplish more than, you know, what are the goals of people? Somebody is from childhood, your parents, society, what kind of goals do people decide for you? Baby is born, when is he going to crawl? He's crawling, when is he going to walk? He's walking, when is he going to school? Oh, at age 3, oh, let us put him in what do you call, whatever they call it anyway, little preschool thing, right? Then he's older, okay, let's go get him to school. Then middle school, then high school, then SATs and ACTs and blah, blah, blah. And then what? Oh, so I mean, just think socially when we meet, what do we do? So which high school, which college is your kid going? Then the college is done. Does he have a girlfriend, boyfriend? When is he getting married? So just think what our goals are all the time. Now you got married. When is he having kids? Got kids. Again, the same cycle goes on and on and on. Do we ever ask that, oh, when is your child going to Pathshala? Is he learning about the soul? Those are not even our goals. Right? So think about it. So something to and you did finish reading the next paragraph also, right?
Right.
So we are Bhavya Jeev. We must put all our efforts into the right knowledge with discriminative science, and as a duty to our children, pass that on to the children also. Okay, let's read the Hindi and then.
धन संपत्ति परिवार नौकर चाकर हाथी घोड़ा तथा राज्य आदि कोई भी पदार्थ आत्मा को सहायक नहीं होते, किंतु सम्यक ज्ञान आत्मा का स्वरूप है। वह एक बार प्राप्त होने के पश्चात अक्षय हो जाता है, अर्थात कभी नष्ट नहीं होता, अचल एक रूप रहता है। आत्मा और पर वस्तुओं का भेद विज्ञान ही उस सम्यक ज्ञान का कारण है। इसलिए प्रत्येक आत्मार्थी भव्य जीव को करोड़ों उपाय करके भी भेद विज्ञान के द्वारा सम्यक ज्ञान प्राप्त करना चाहिए। इस संबंध में आचार्य अमृतचंद्र के ये पुरुषार्थ प्रेरक वचन अनुकरणीय हैं। अयि कथमपि मृत्वा तत्व कौतूहली सन अनुभव भव मूर्ते पार्श्ववर्ती मुहूर्तम प्रथगम विलसतम स्वसमलोक्ययेन तत्यजसि इगिति मूर्या साक मेकत्व मोहम। अर्थात आचार्य देव कोमल संबोधन पूर्वक कहते हैं कि हे भाई, तो किसी प्रकार महाकष्ट से अथवा मरकर भी तत्वों का कौतूहली होकर इस शरीर आदि से मूर्त द्रव्य का एक मुहूर्त 2 घड़ी पड़ोसी होकर आत्म अनुभव कर कि जिससे अपने आत्मा के विलास रूप सर्व पर द्रव्यों से भिन्न देखकर इस शरीरादिक मूर्तिक उद्गल द्रव्य के साथ एक तत्व के मोह को शीघ्र ही छोड़ देगा। जी समयसार कलश से
बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है ये चीजें। सी व्हाट दे आर सेइंग इज कि समयसार कहता है कि तू एक मुहूर्त तो मर पच के भी, मतलब क्या, give it the utmost priority, forget about everything, do this. They don't literally mean mar ke, matlab obviously if you're dying can't do this, but that's a proverb usually used to give it the utmost importance. So yeah, say this, वही वास्तव में आश्चर्य है।
वही वास्तव में आश्चर्य है। अहो जगत में मूर्ख जीवों का क्या कठिन है। वे जो अनर्थ करे उसका आश्चर्य नहीं है, परंतु नहीं करे वही वास्तव में आश्चर्य है। शरीर को प्रतिदिन पोषते हैं, साथ ही साथ विषयों का भी सेवन करते हैं। उन मूर्ख जीवों को कुछ भी विवेक नहीं है कि विषपान करके अमृतत्व की इच्छा रखते हैं, सुख की वांछा करते हैं।
You see,
गुण
we live the life of what? Sins. And we expect happiness. Isn't that an oxymoron? Can't do that.
Yeah.
And that is why they say कि पाप तो इंसान हंसते हंसते करता है, पर जब फल भोगना पड़ता है तब रोता है.
Yeah.
So something. So it has a lot of good. In fact, some of these are added after the version I have. So even my physical book doesn't have some of these. Okay, let's see.
Glory of right knowledge, the technique of stopping desires of the sense organs. जे पूरब शिव गए, जाहि अरु आगे जे हैं, ते सब ज्ञान तनी महिमा मुनिनाथ कहे हैं. विषय चाह दब दाह, जगत जन अरन तझावे, तासु उपाय न आन, ज्ञान घन घान बुझावे. J. Those, Purab in the past, Shiv Gai, attained salvation, Jahi, attaining at present, Aru Aage Je Hain, shall go in future, Te Sab Mahima, all that is glory, Gyan Tane, of right knowledge, Muninath, omniscient Lord, Kahe Hain, have preached. Vishay Chah, desire of mundane pleasures, Dab Dah, burning in the forest fire, Jagat Jan, mundane soul, Aran Daj burns the forest, Tasu Upay Naan. There is no other way of putting off. Gyan, knowledge, right knowledge, Gan, Bhagan, Ghagan, Ghanaghan, dense cloud, Bujhave, to extinguish. The omniscient Lord says that the right knowledge is the reason for any soul to obtain liberation in the past, present, from the area of Mahavidya and future. As the fire in the jungle burns everything to ashes, the fire of desires of the five sense organs burns the transmigratory souls and gives them intense misery. As the torrential rain extinguishes the fire, the right knowledge cools down the fire of desires and then destroys them.
So you see, if right now we have all these desires and the five senses, organs, but if you have the right knowledge of the soul, it will take care of all of those intense miseries. Right? Let's read the Hindi part.
So why did they mention here from the area of Mahavidya? Yeah.
Because it's fourth kal, where you can always obtain Samyak darshan. And
Okay.
also, because in the Bharat, other kshetras, you have to wait till the fourth era.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
जिस प्रकार वन में लगी हुई अग्नि अर्थात दावानल वहां की समस्त वस्तुओं को भस्म कर देता है, उसी प्रकार
भविष्य निधि जी
हाँ ऊपर से भूत वर्तमान और भविष्य तीनों काल में जो जीव मोक्ष सुख को प्राप्त हुए हैं, वर्तमान में विदेह क्षेत्र से हो रहे हैं और भविष्य में होंगे, वे इस सम्यक ज्ञान की ही महिमा महात्म्य है, ऐसा पूर्वाचार्यों ने कहा है. जिस प्रकार वन में लगी हुई अग्नि अर्थात दावानल वहां की समस्त वस्तुओं को भस्म कर देता है, उसी प्रकार पांच इंद्रियों संबंधी विषयों की इच्छा संसारी जीवों को जलाती है, दुख देती है, और जिस प्रकार वर्षा की झड़ी उस दावानल को बुझा देती है, उसी प्रकार यह सम्यक ज्ञान विषयों की अग्नि को शांत कर देता है, नष्ट कर देता है. स्मृति, जिस प्रकार कोई बालक अपनी माता से बिछुड़ गया हो, उससे पूछे कि तेरा नाम क्या, तो कहता है मेरी माँ. तेरा गांव कौन, तो वो कहता है मेरी माँ. तेरा माता पिता कौन है, तो कहता है मेरी माँ. उसी प्रकार जिस आत्मा की सच्ची रुचि से ज्ञायक स्वभाव प्राप्त करना है, उसे हर एक प्रसंग में ज्ञायक स्वभाव ऐसी लगन बनी रहती है, उसी की निरंतर रुचि एवं भावना रहती है.
You see what it is? Those who understand this and want to be with the soul, their constant focus is only on the soul. To them, nothing else matters. And such a good example, right? For a little child who's lost his mother, he cannot think of anything else except his mother, right? You ask him the address, oh, my mom, I'm looking for my mom, right? If you ask him his name, my mom. So actually, my older son, of course, he's much older now, but he was 2 years old and he got lost in the mall, right? I mean, we were in the same store and he must have wandered off, just like kids do, looking at some toy or something. Next thing I hear is a announcement uh, that we have this child here, wearing a blue, and then he's correcting, no, 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 blue and green, blue and green, looking for his mom. So my son went and told the desk that I lost my mom. Not like that he's lost. My mom is lost. My mom is lost. So it's like that. So because a child at that age, the whole focus is its mother. So same way they're saying, for us now, our whole focus should be our Gyan Swabhav, our pure soul. Dinesh Parekh, are you available to read?
Yes.
Want to read the next two?
Okay, stanza 9. Negation in the activities of auspicious and inauspicious deeds. Punya pap phal mahi, harak bilakhau mati bhai, यह पुद्गल पर जाए, उपाजी बिनसाए तीर्थाए. लाख बात की बात यही, निश्चय उर लावौ, तोरी सकुल जग दंड फंड, नित आत्म ध्यावाओ. So punya pap phalamahi, in fruition of auspicious and inauspicious karma. Harak bilakhau, feel pleasure and to weep in pain. Mati, do not. Bhai, soul with the capacity for liberation. Yaha, this. Pudgal parjai, modification of matter. Upaji, appear. Binasai, disappear. Thir thai, cannot remain permanent. Lakh baat ki baat yahi, it is the only essence of the entire discourse. Nischay ur lavau, keep in heart with total firmness. Tori, breaking. Sakala jug dhandapand, all conflicts and entanglements of the world. Nija atam dhyavau, remain engrossed in the pure nature of the soul. One who cares for the welfare of the soul knows that wealth, house, business, fame, and healthy body are the fruition of past auspicious deeds. He believes that the soul does not gain anything from these things and will not be unhappy upon losing the same. For him, the alien substances are always the object of the soul's knowledge and are separate from the soul. He does not believe these alien substances to be helpful or hurtful to the soul. He does not endure any pleasure or pain in the fruits of these auspicious or inauspicious alien substances. If the soul believes alien substances to be helpful or hurtful, he will definitely have likes and dislikes and sense of ownership towards them. He would also believe that the alien substances are the reason for his happiness and unhappiness. The person with right knowledge knows that this is a wrong belief. Therefore, he concentrates within and makes a firm decision about the true nature of the self and remains happy from within. The bondage of auspicious and inauspicious karma are the modes of matter particles. The perceived pleasure or pain occurring with the fruition of karma is transient in nature. The essence of Jain philosophy says that the auspicious and inauspicious dispositions of the soul are the reason for transmigration of the soul in the universe. That is why one should give them up and get engrossed in the pure self by having right faith, knowledge, and conduct.
Okay. So what are we saying here? That this is our duty to be engrossed in the right knowledge and right faith, right? It's not like we are doing a favor to anybody else. It's all for our own self. Now, the one who wants to do good to themselves, They don't then worry about wealth, house, business, fame, a healthy body. All these, I know the society nowadays teaches us to focus on health, focus, which is okay, but still you should understand the priority, right? If the soul should still take priority over the body. So let's say it's time to go to the gym, and also it's time to attend class. Which one should you prefer?
It'd be class.
Unless you can do the gym while you're in complete dhala, then you should go to the gym.
Do we take care of a child while being in the gym, or we say, no, no, my little baby is more important. I'm going to stay home and just
Yeah.
take, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right there. So no, no, no. You cannot go to the gym and focus on the class. You will be okay. So he sees that the soul does not gain anything from these things, because even you can have the most beautiful and healthy body. I've seen so many examples of bodybuilders dying of heart attack, dying of whatever. What happened? They did all the efforts to keep that body so healthy. So all that effort or time that they wasted in, getting this good body, if they had used that time to focus on their soul, they would be much ahead. And again, I understand if you cannot do it, but at least understand that I am not able to prioritize because of my moha towards the body. Okay. So I am not going to say don't do gym, because you can't. If you have the attachment towards the body, you will feel like doing whatever it takes to make it look pretty, whatever it takes to keep it healthy, exercise, whatever it takes, right? But have the sense of priority.
Auntie, what is the karma that creates laziness and inertia? Would you say that's Darshana Varnaya maybe, or Jnana Varnaya?
There is
Like, you should be reading a scripture, you should be sitting and doing prayers or meditation, but you can't, what is creating that?
Pramad is one of the one of the 5 things of ashram. So laziness is actually caused by you, and it causes influx of karmas. It can be removed by conviction that yes, I need to do this. And why it is caused is, again, the reason is primarily one, which is what? Tell me.
I mean, I would have guessed something like Darshana Varnaya, some obscuring of this, right?
No, but
So laziness is a little bit different than inertia. Like, sometimes inertia is just you cannot get started in doing the right thing that you want to do. Like, you may have the desire to, but
because of the Moniya karma ka uday, you get lazy. When we say pramad in Jainism, any pramad means laziness towards not doing what is right for your soul, in Jain terms. Now, if you're talking about general laziness, physical laziness, a kid doesn't want to study, a kid doesn't want to go do sports, whatever the case may be. I think that is more like Nam karma, that you're physically feeling lazy.
I think in second Dhal we learned the reasons for suffering, correct? That is ashrav. Like mityatva, avirat, pramad, kasha, yog.
So pramad is part of ashram. Okay. Okay. Now, then he will not be unhappy upon losing the same. So if like, let's say you lost your health a little bit, okay? Still, if your soul is strong, you won't be unhappy. For him, the alien substances are always the object of the soul's knowledge and separate from the soul. So anything other than your soul, you can know, but not be. They are not you, they are not yours. He doesn't believe these alien substances to be helpful or hurtful to them.
So in that sense, the body is an alien substance too, right?
Yes. So if you really have that firm belief, then it really helps you not be miserable even if you are very ill. And I have personally known pundits who have had cancer and like suffered just like any cancer patient would for a number of months or years or whatever, and not be disturbed by it at all because they could alienate their body from themselves.
Because their body was suffering, but they themselves were not suffering.
Exactly, exactly. And they
And that's
didn't.
like when you see the Jain sadhus who do really tough katin tapasya, standing in the sun or this and that. The bodies are undergoing, but the soul is not undergoing that burning, right? So
Exactly. So, but again, that atap, tap, all these tap, they do to test their body's tolerance. But just like we read, those things don't take away as much karmas as the meditative state does.
Yeah, without some.
Yeah, you could be standing for sun for 12 hours. That's not going to get rid of as much karmas as the swadhyaya or the meditation would. Being with the soul is more important than the bodily aspects of it. Okay, so for him, okay, he does not believe that these alien substances to be helpful or hurtful. He does not endure any pleasure or pain in the fruits of these auspicious or unauspicious. So, which means if somebody told you you're very handsome or beautiful, it does not give them as much pleasure. It's okay. Okay, fine. Somebody said you heard it, and that's it. It stops there. Normally what will happen, somebody tells you you're very beautiful, all day that is going on. Oh my God, they thought I am beautiful, right? So if the soul believes alien substances will be helpful or hurtful, he will definitely have likes and dislikes. So now we know the reason for our likes and dislikes. At least some of these things are kind of relatively reduced in today's society. In the old times, if you remember, people would always be, oh, I don't like the dark skin, I like the light skin, and any kind of bodily. We don't want fat people, we want thin people. There's just so much likes and dislikes going on all the time. At least now we teach our children in the schools not to be discriminative and all that, And then sense of ownership towards them, that it is my body, my children, that constant ownership. I realized this ownership business. My husband said that let's buy a bigger house in Orlando, right? You know what I told him? I was like, no, I don't want to own anything. Ownership is misery. As you get older in life, you realize that whatever you own is a big stress on your head. So now I'm in the process of getting rid of whatever we own. If we don't, I'm to the point where I want to sell everything and even just rent and live in a small rented house. So I don't have any stress of anything and I can only focus on my soul. Because as long as you own something, it is yours. So anything that happens to that thing is your responsibility. Any insurance, any, values going up or down is your headache. If you don't own, nothing is no problem. So you see how you can experience the ownership problems. So if you own your body, same thing. If you disown it, no problem. If it's sick, who cares? So ownership towards them. He would also believe that the alien substance are the reason for his happiness and unhappiness. Yes, if we own a property, something happens to it, it gets burned, we get unhappy. So they give this example that there was this Seth and he was going and he saw his house burning. So he's all crying and, my beautiful house is on fire now and whatever, whatever. So the son comes and says, oh, but I just sold it yesterday. What happens? Immediately that misery is gone. And then, he's fine and no problem, they're walking. And then he comes back and says, oh, I sold it, but then that deal didn't go through. Back to again, same problem. So you see how you can experience this ownership problems? And the same thing applies to your body, your children, your spouse, your money, your house, everything. So the person with right knowledge knows that this is wrong belief. It's mithya, jhoot, whatever. Therefore, he concentrates within and makes a firm decision about the true nature of self and remains happy from within. So let's say, even if you own properties, right? But internally, you've made up your mind that I'm really not the owner, I'm the soul. Same thing, you won't be affected. If you lost, you gain, doesn't matter. The bondage of auspicious and inauspicious karmas are the modes of matter particles. The perceived pleasure or pain occurring with the fruition of the karmas is transient nature. So the bondage is of course, so they are talking about the dravya bandh and bhav bandh. So the karma particles coming in the same space as your soul is the dravya bandh, and the perceived pleasure or pain is bhav bandh. The pain or pleasure that you feel is the bhav bandh. So, and that is of course coming from the fruition of the transient karmas that are coming and going. So the essence of Jain philosophy says that auspicious and inauspicious dispositions of the soul are the reason for transmigration of the soul in the universe. That is why one should give them up and get engrossed in it. So if you are engrossed in your pure soul, not own your body and circumstances, then you are going in the right direction. And of course, for the future towards moksha, but also in this temporary time, you can feel that feeling of less stress, relaxed feeling. Okay, let's read the Hindi part of it. Hopefully we finished this English, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Hindi reading is very slow, so maybe I won't read this.
Anybody else wants to quickly read it? Arun ji, aap pad lijiye usko quickly.
आत्मार्थी जीव का कर्तव्य है कि धन, मकान, दुकान, कीर्ति, निरोगी शरीर आदि पुण्य के फल में हर्ष तथा उनके वियोग में शोक न करे, क्योंकि पर पदार्थ सदा भिन्न है, ज्ञेय मात्र है। उनमें किसी को अनुकूल प्रतिकूल अथवा इष्ट अनिष्ट मानना जीव की भूल मात्र है। इसलिए पुण्य पाप के फल में हर्ष शोक नहीं करना चाहिए। जीव यदि किसी भी पर पदार्थ को भला या बुरा मानता है, उसके प्रति राग या द्वेष हुए बिना नहीं रहता। जिसने पर पदार्थ अर्थात परद्रव्य क्षेत्र काल भाव को हितकर अथवा अहितकर माना है, उसने अनंत पर पदार्थों को राग द्वेष करने योग्य माना है, और अनंत पर पदार्थ मुझे सुख दुख के कारण है ऐसा भी माना है। यह मान्यता भूल युक्त है। इसलिए उस भूल को छोड़कर निज ज्ञान आनंद स्वरूप का निर्णय करके स्वान्मुख होके ज्ञाता दृष्टा रहना ही सुखी होने का एकमात्र उपाय है। पुण्य पाप का बंध पुद्गल की पर्याय अवस्थाएं हैं। उनके उदय में प्राप्त संयोग भी क्षणिक संयोग रूप से आते जाते हैं। जितने काल तक वे निकट रहें, उतने काल भी सुख दुख देने में समर्थ नहीं है। सनातन वस्तु धर्म अर्थात जैन धर्म के समस्त उपदेश का सार यही है कि शुभ अशुभ भाव संसार है। इसलिए उनकी रुचि छोड़ के स्वान्मुख होकर निश्चय सम्यक दर्शन ज्ञान पूर्वक निज आनंद आत्मस्वरूप में एकाग्र लीन होना ही जीव का कर्तव्य है।
So what is important is to have this constant feeling of not me and mine towards the body and its associations. And that is something we can practice on a daily basis. Constant reminder that this is not mine. And it really is not. We are just here temporarily renting all these circumstances, which we have to leave. So when we are in a hotel room, how much attached are we? I mean, we call it, yeah, my room, my bathroom, my this. But inside, do we feel it is mine? No, it's a hotel room. You were there for a wedding, for a conference for 3 days, and you have to leave. So how much you worry about something not perfect in that room? Not much. So just, I want you guys to get a feeling of this non-ownership thing. That try not to own things. I mean, in your mind, even if you actually own them, that's nothing. You cannot just sell everything off right away, but yeah. So, okay, let's move on to the next one.
You want me to continue? The right conduct and the nature of the partial vows. सम्यक ज्ञानी होय बहुरी दिद्ध चारित ली जाय एक देश और सकल देश तसु भेद कही जाए त्रस हिंसा कौ त्याग वृथा थावर न्याय संघाराय पर अधिकार कठोर निंद नहीं बैन उच्चराय.
Okay, okay.
It's okay, we can read that.
Like the whole chart?
So this is
Okay.
about,
So-
remember, we did Samyak Darshan, then we did Samyak Gyan, and now we are on Samyak Charitra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two different types of conduct: partial conduct, ekadesh, and complete conduct, sakaladesh. The partial vows are the anuvrat, ahimsa, satya, chaurya, brahmacharya, parigraha. The supporting vows, the gunavrat, which we have covered, I think, in Vitarag Vidyan, geographic limitation, digvrat, deshavrat, day-to-day additional limitation, and anartha danda tyag, purposeless violence limitation. And that is also, anartha danda tyag is also subdivided into additional categories: evil thinking, apadhyan, evil instruction, papupadesh, careless dealing, pramadacharya, gift of weapons of offense, hinsadhan, and evil hearing, dushruti. And then the trainee's vows, so the trainee monk, shikshavrat, equanimity, samaik, ascetichood, exposure vow, prashodapavas, sensual enjoyment and limitation vow, bhog pariman,
Pariman Vrat, yeah.
and selfless offering to unexpected guest, atiti samvibhag.
And so we did all this in Vitrag Vigyan, and again, they're showing you all the details of the Charitra part, yeah.
So, Samyak Gyani Hoy with the right knowledge, Bahuri after that, Dridda Charit Lijai, follow firmly the course of right conduct, Ikadesh partial, Ar and Sakaladesh complete, Tasu of that, Bhed kinds, Kahijai preached, Tras Hinsako, violence of the mobile beings, Tyag to refrain them, Vrita purposelessly, Thavar, immobile organism, Sangarai, not to destroy, Par vadikar, killing of others, kathor, harsh, nind, condemnable, nahi baina ucharai, not to speak. So one should aim for right conduct after obtaining right knowledge. The right conduct is of two types: partial conduct observed by householders and complete conduct observed by the enlightened ascetics. I mean, they shouldn't use the word enlightened ascetics, I think, there, but anyway, by the aspiring enlightened ascetics.
Samyak Darshan.
Oh, they're using enlightened for just Samyak Darshan. Okay.
Yes, such as Samyak Darshan also. Which is true, right? Once you have experienced the soul, the experience of the soul is very similar to the Keval Gyani's soul, the experience of the soul. It's just short-lived, but it is the same, right?
In this fourth chapter, there is a description of the partial conduct of the householders. The nature of the complete conduct will be described in chapter 6. 1 refrains from the violence towards the mobile living beings, 2 to 5 sense living beings, and also does not purposefully destroy the non-mobile stationary 1 sense living beings. This is the nature of the partial vow of non-violence, ahimsa anuvrat. 1 also does not speak words that lead to the killing of others. Even though it could be true, 1 does not speak or encourage someone to say harsh or derogatory words. This is known as the partial vow of truthfulness, satya anuvrat.
Okay, so this is something we have studied before. So these are all the different vows that one should take and observe. Obviously, more important after having Samyak Darshan, but it is also important to do before Samyak Darshan as a practice, right? Okay, let's keep going to the Hindi version. Nidhi ji, if you are available. Or anybody else who wants to read can read the Hindi one.
I can read. सम्यक ज्ञान प्राप्त करके सम्यक चारित्र प्रकट करना चाहिए। उस सम्यक चारित्र के दो भेद है, एक देश अर्थात अणुदेश अथवा स्थूल चारित्र, और दो सर्वदेश अर्थात सकल महा अथवा सूक्ष्म चारित्र। उनमें सकल चारित्र का पालन मुनिराज करते हैं और देश चारित्र का पालन श्रावक करते हैं। इस चौथी डाल में देश चारित्र का वर्णन किया गया है। सकल चारित्र का वर्णन छठवीं डाल में किया जाएगा। अहिंसा अनुरुद्ध त्रस्त जीवों की
They are only doing, right now they're explaining what is needed to be done for the Shravaks, not the Muniraj. Muniraj aspect, we will do it in the next. Okay, go ahead.
अहिंसा अनुरुद्ध त्रस्त जीवों की संकल्प हिंसा का सर्वथा त्याग करके निष्प्रयोजन स्थावर जीवों का घात न करना वह अहिंसा अनुरुद्ध है। अहिंसा अनुरुद्ध का धारण करने वाला जीव यह घात करने योग्य है, मैं इसे मारूं। इस प्रकार संकल्प सहित किसी त्रस्त जीव की हिंसा नहीं करता, किंतु इस व्रत का धारी आरंभी उद्योगिनी तथा विरोधिनी हिंसा का त्यागी नहीं हो सकता। सत्य अनुरुद्ध दूसरे के प्राणों को घातक, कठोर और निंदनीय वचन न बोलना, न दूसरों से बुलवाना और न अनुमोदना करना सत्य अनुरुद्ध है।
Okay, I need a favor from you guys. We had this Satya Anuvat, which Vitrag Vigyan? Who can tell me? And which page number, if somebody can share that chapter with me. Because I don't have my books here with me in India. And my next talk is on falsehood. I think it's tomorrow. So
I can
later
we can find. Yeah. Later I can find out.
Later you can send it to me. Yeah, continue. Scroll whoever.
So that's it. It's done.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, let's move on to the next one then in English.
Okay. So description, I can read, correct? Again.
Yeah, you can read again. Okay. Yeah, I'll be away for just a second because I have to plug this. But you can, okay?
Yeah. So description about the non-stealing, celibacy, non-possessiveness, and supporting vows, Gunarut. जलम रुतिका बिना और नहीं कुछ ग्रह पदता निज बनिता बिना सकल नारिसाओं रहे विरक्ता अपनी शक्ति प्रमाण परिग्रह थोराव राखे दश दिशा गमन प्रमाण गनी तसुसीमा नाखे. Okay, directions. Jal, water. Mritika, dirt, wind, without, और and nahi. Nahi kachu, gahe, adatta. Does not accept unless offered. Nijavanita, bin, accept his married wife. Sakala nari saw, all other women. Rahai virakta, not to have sexual relations. Apni shakti praman, according to his needs. Parigraha, possessions. Thora rakai, to keep limited. Dashadisha, 10 directions. Gamana praman, limitations of movement. Gani, to determine. Tasusima na nakai, not to transgress those limits. The nature of the non-stealing partial vow of the householder, Achori Anurutta, is as follows. Water and dirt are accessible to everyone, therefore the householder uses them. The householder does not use anything else unless he has the permission of the owner to use them. The nature of the partial vows of celibacy, Brahmacharya Anuruddha, states that the householder will not have any sexual relationship with anyone except for his or her spouse. He will consider everyone as his mother, sister, or daughter except his own spouse. And likewise, she will consider everyone as her father, brother, or son except for her married spouse. The householder also keeps in mind his own capacity and needs and keeps a control on his desires for alien substances throughout his life. This is the nature of the partial vow of non-possessiveness, aparigraha anuruddha. The householder also keeps restrictions of mobility in all 10 directions throughout his life, and that is known as the supporting vow, gunaruddha, of the geographic limitation of the householder, digruddha.
So these are all the details we have already studied in Vitrag Vigyan, right? That we need to be taking all these vows off and on, and at least try to take as much as you can. If you're afraid that you might forget, I cannot do long term, at least do on a daily basis that I can do without this, I can do without this. And they're pretty trivial, right? Vow of non-stealing, vow of the violence. We don't want to do any sankalpi hinsa, something pre-planned and that type of hinsa. Even the others, even though they say with your Shravak that you cannot completely avoid, but one should minimize even the Arambi Hinsa, Virodhi Hinsa, Udyogi Hinsa. How do you minimize Udyogi Hinsa? You don't go into jobs or investments that involve violence, right? You at home, Arambi Hinsa, you have to kill or while cooking and drinking water and all those. Even that you minimize by not wasting electricity, water, all these things. So it just in general makes you a lot more aware soul that you are aware that whatever you use, whatever you consume or waste, where is it coming back? Who is going to suffer?
Myself.
Bear the consequences. Nobody else but you.
Yeah.
So just always remember that it is in your best interest to follow some of these guidelines. So the householder does not use anything else. Okay, go ahead. We'll do it in Hindi, and that way you will have it. Let's see that picture. What is that picture about?
It's about the dishas, 10 directions.
Yeah. Okay, so just so you know, this Ishan, so they've given you all these different angles. So when people take this, what is it called? Digvrat.
Digruddha.
So they decide in each direction how far they will go. And then if they know they're only going to go in a certain direction, then they will say, okay, except this direction, I take a vow to not move in any other directions.
Mm.
You can get as specific as you want to.
Yeah.
Let's say if I'm traveling from Pittsburgh to Orlando, well, I can take a vow that I'm going to only travel south and not the other directions, or southeast, southwest, whatever that is needed to, So it's quite interesting.
Like I do not want to visit Las Vegas because there is a lot of mental fluctuations or something.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a vow this year.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, I mean, yeah.
Right. Sure. Okay, continue.
भावार्थ श्रावक के शेष अनुरुतों का स्वरूप इस प्रकार है। अचौर्य अनुरुत जन समुदाय के लिए जहां रोक न हो तथा किसी विशेष व्यक्ति का स्वामित्व न हो, वहां के पानी तथा मिट्टी के अतिरिक्त जिस पर अपना स्वामित्व न हो, ऐसी प्रत्येक पराई वस्तु उसके स्वामी के दिए बिना न लेना तथा उठाकर दूसरे को न देना अचौर्य अनुरोध है.
So you see what is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The what do you call that? Public property, wherever you're allowed, which is the roads and the public restrooms, all those things. Except that anywhere else, if you are using something, you must find the owner and ask permission.
Yeah.
Right. So I know in the US we are less prone to do this. I mean, we are more casual about things. We go to somebody's house and we don't ask, then we take. But people who follow these in India, they will ask, can I take this or can I, So it's a good practice to have. Anyway, go ahead.
तो ब्रह्मचर्य अनुरोध. अपनी विवाहित स्त्री के सिवा अन्य सर्व स्त्रियों से विरक्त रहना ब्रह्मचर्य अनुरोध है. पुरुष को चाहिए कि अन्य स्त्रियों को माता, बहन और पुत्री के समान समझे तथा स्त्री को चाहिए कि अपने पति के अतिरिक्त अन्य सभी पुरुषों को पिता, भाई और पुत्र के समान समझे. परिग्रह परिमाण अनुरोध. अपनी शक्ति और योग्यता का ध्यान रखकर जीवन पर्यंत के लिए धन धनादि
Dhan dhanya. Dhanya is
धन धान्यादि बाह्य परिग्रह का परिमाण मर्यादा बांधकर उससे अधिक की इच्छा न करना परिग्रह परिमाण अनुरोध है. ये 5 अहिंसा, सत्य, शौर्य, ब्रह्मचर्य और परिग्रह परिमाण अनुरोध है. हिंसाधिक को लोक में भी पाप माना जाता है. उनका इन ऋतुओं में एक देश स्थूल रूप से त्याग किया गया है. इस कारण ये अनुरोध कहलाते हैं. यह तथ्य ध्यान देने योग्य है कि जिस जीव को निश्चय सम्यक दर्शन ज्ञान पूर्वक पहले 2 कषायों का अभाव हुआ हो, उस जीव को ही सच्चे अनुरोध होते हैं. जिस निश्चय सम्यक दर्शन न हो, उसके व्रतों को सर्वज्ञ देव ने बाल व्रत, अज्ञान व्रत की श्रेणी में रखा है. अब श्रावक की 3 गुणव्रतों में से दिग्व्रत का स्वरूप कहते हैं. दिग्व्रत 10 दिशाओं में आने जाने की मर्यादा निश्चित करके जीवन पर्यंत उसका उल्लंघन नहीं करना दिग्व्रत है. इसमें दिशाओं की मर्यादा निश्चित की जाती है, इसलिए इसे दिग्व्रत कहा जाता है. Yeah. Okay. Supporting vows, Gunarat, day-to-day additional limitation, vow,
Deshavagasic
Rut, and purposeless violence limitation, vow, Anartha Dandarut. ताहू में फिरी ग्राम गली, गृह बाग बजारा, गमनागमन प्रमाणटानी, अनि सकल निवारा. कहूँ खाए धनहानि किसी जय हार न चित्ताए, देय न सो उपदेश हो ये अग वनिज कृषि ताय. ताहू में out of that irigram, then village, gully, street, gruha, house, बाग, garden, bajara, market, gamanagaman, movement, pramana, limit, thani, to determine, ani sakala nivara, give up or eliminate all other concerns, kahuke dan, Ani. Loss of wealth of others. Kise je har na chitte. Not to think of victory or defeat others. Dena so upadesha hoag. Not to advise for sinful activities. Vanij industries. Krishite from agriculture.
Mhm.
In the supporting vow of restriction of mobility throughout the life, the householder also takes the vow of further restriction of his day-to-day further mobility, such as remaining at home, not going out to certain streets, towns, markets, etc., for a certain limited time. Okay. In this vow, concern beyond the limited area is eliminated. This is known as day-to-day additional limitation vow, Deshavagashika Vrata. Description of the purposeless violence limitation vow, Anartha Danda Vrata. The purposeless violence limitation vow can be divided into 5 parts, of which the first 2 are described in this stanza and the next 3 in the following stanza. Evil thinking, purposeless violence limitation vow, Apadhyana Anartha Dandavrata. One should not indulge in the thoughts of someone else's loss of wealth or someone else's defeat or victory. One should not give advice of such trade or agriculture in which there is violence involved. This is known as evil instruction, purposeless violence limitation vow. Papopadesha, Anartha Dandavrata.
Okay, very good. So what are we doing here? Which 2 did we cover?
We covered like Apadya. Okay, so the purposeless why. So first is the Digurata about the directions,
Mm-hmm.
and then Anartha Dandavrata.
So it
There
was
there are 2
Digvat.
types.
Digvrat was covered in the last stanza. This was Deshavagasikvrat. Vrat. So
Oh,
first
Desha.
take
Yeah,
the
that's correct.
Digvrat, which means general
Yeah, it's
optional vow. Then
yeah,
Deshavgasik means every day you further limit it.
yeah. For
And then the next one we did was purposeless violence, Anartha.
Anartha Dandavrata.
And then
In,
evil thinking, purposeless.
yeah, you thinking or advising the things that is harmful, the
Right.
agriculture or business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Hindi. यह श्रावक के 3 गुणव्रतों का वर्णन है। देशव्रत पूर्व छंद में वर्णित दिग्व्रत में जीवन पर्यंत की गई जाने आने के क्षेत्र की मर्यादा में भी घड़ी घंटा दिन महीना आदि काल के नियम से किसी प्रसिद्ध ग्राम मार्ग मकान तथा बाजार तक जाने आने की मर्यादा करके उससे आगे की सीमा में न जाना देशव्रत कहलाता है। दिग्व्रत दिस देशव्रत। ओके।
Mm-hmm.
अनर्थ दंड त्याग व्रत बिना प्रयोजन मन वचन काय की अशुभ प्रवृत्तियों का त्याग अनर्थ दंड त्याग व्रत कहलाता है। अनर्थ दंड त्याग व्रत के 5 मुख्य प्रकारों का वर्णन इस प्रकार है। किसी के धन का नाश, पराजय अथवा विजय आदि का विचार न करना, अपध्यान अनर्थ दंड त्याग व्रत है। हिंसा रूप पापजनक व्यापार तथा खेती आदि का उपदेश न देना पापोपदेश अनर्थ दंड त्याग व्रत है। Yeah.
Okay. I think we have only 2 more. I know we are almost out of time.
Yeah,
What do you
3
guys
more.
think? Should we finish the chapter or we are on
I
13?
think Saransh and all, it will be more, I think.
Yeah, okay, then let's keep it till next class then.
Okay. 13, 14, 15 and Saransh.
Right. So, okay. Will somebody put it in the group like I did last time? That next class where we start, so that way it's easier to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stop sharing, and I'll do the Jinwadi Stuti. Then I'll quickly discuss this upcoming. सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है वंदना शत बार है। जय जिनेन्द्र।